say here. It's very important.
Yeah, you're perfect.
Oh, good. You've got it there on the iPad.
Thank you.
Let me see your advertising.
Right here, I'll get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Guess who joined? Brenna.
Okay, should I just go? I'm just gonna start. Okay. Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started. So, welcome. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm Brenna Garcia.
And then I'm Servando Melendrez, and we are two of Chico State's student ambassadors, and North State ambassadors. We wanted to say thank you for coming to our power hour today.
We want you guys to please take advantage of all of the snacks and drinks and stuff we have and make some friendship bracelets if you want to. We have all of those supplies out.
And as you all know today, we have a very special guest joining us. So I would like you all to welcome the president of Chico State, Steve Perez.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Glad to have you here.
I'm
Doing well.
Good.
So we're just gonna ask you a little bit of like who you are and like what you do, and then we're gonna ask you some trivia questions about the North State, and
All right.
then we'll be done.
I know that I haven't slept in a couple of days. Right about the trivia question.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, so we all already.
I've embarrassed myself many times. This will just be one more in a long line.
So we all know your name already, but could you introduce yourself, like go into depth about like where you come from, things of that nature?
Sure. So my name's Steve Perez. I have the privilege of serving as the president here at Chico State. Where's the camera?
Right here.
All right. I grew up all over California. I was actually born in Washington, D.C., but when I was very young, we moved to the San Diego area. I lived in there till after first grade, and then Westlake Village till second grade through my sophomore year of high school, then in the Bay Area. I lived in Palo Alto for a couple of years, back to San Diego, back to the Bay Area. Then I moved to Sacramento when I was in graduate school. Then we went away, worked in Virginia for a while, and the state of Washington before coming back. And I was in Sacramento State for 20 years, and we've loved this region ever since.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you also tell us a fun fact about yourself? Can you think of anything?
See, now that one makes me super nervous. What's the fun fact about me? So I played baseball into college, and I've been playing baseball ever since. I came here in January, and I stopped playing. I've been playing on an old person's baseball team up until then. And I've been going to a golf tournament with my teammates tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
you excited for that?
So our next question is like, walk us through a little bit about how you got this job, like your schooling and like your interests and what really like, I want to be the president of the university.
You don't wake up saying that. I promise you. So I was a lot of different biology majors when I was an undergrad. I was going to be a doctor. I decided not to be a doctor right near the end of my time in school and switched to economics because I kind of liked it, and I did okay at it, and graduated, got a job as a market analyst for a biotech company in the Bay Area, and then realized I actually really like school. So I went back to school, to graduate school, so I could be a student forever, and that's what I've been able to do now since for well over 30 years. Got a job as a professor, economics professor, and taught at a number of places, and really enjoyed it. Really enjoy working with students, trying to figure out how to help students be successful, how to reach the goals that they want to get to. And when I was at Sacramento State, I had a lot of different opportunities, and realized I think I kind of like trying to organize things and talking to people and trying to figure out how to do things better. One thing led to another, and here I am. Yeah.
No.
So we wanted to know what exactly drew you into Chico State.
Well, this is the exact kind of place we like living. My wife and I both grew up in suburbs, but when I was teaching at Washington State University, we got to live in a college town for the first time, and we lived there for 4 years before coming back to California. And when we came back, we went and lived in Davis, and we were there for 20 years. And living in a small community that's centered around higher ed, that's centered around a university, that's centered around how do we help our students be wonderful people and learn a lot. It's fantastic. It's unmatched. On top of that, this is my 23rd year in the CSU, and I truly love what we do. And so, again, working with you all, working with our faculty and our staff colleagues that do great things every day, and trying to help our communities grow, develop, and just be wonderful places to live. That's what our job is every day. That's pretty cool. Getting to do that in a region of the country we love, in a town that we knew we were going to love, and it turns out we do, was an opportunity we feel pretty lucky to get to do.
Of course.
Okay, so piggybacking off of his question, you worked at like multiple different schools. Is there any difference between the CSU system and the UC system? Like, is there in like the town?
I was a student in the UC system. I never worked at the UC.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I went to UC San Diego and I went to UC Davis. We have different missions, and our mission is student success. The missions of major research universities are pretty research intensive, and so it tends to lead to a different focus and different skills. And so I think we should be judged by what we're supposed to be doing. What is our mission? I want us to be the greatest university in the world, and that means be the best at our mission that anybody can possibly do. And so there's differences between all schools, even within CSUs. There's differences. Our role is to do what we're supposed to do, which is, again, work with you all, work with each other, and work with our region, and do it better than anybody else.
All right. So from what I've heard personally, you moved into the mansion. Is that correct? On campus?
Moved into the president's house. Yeah.
So what made you decide to move into the mansion? Because I've heard that previous presidents actually didn't move in there.
So my understanding is it had fallen into a bit of disrepair. So I don't know what it looked like in the 90s, which was the last time a president lived there. We wanted to immediately become part of the community, get right in the center of the action, and it's hard to be any more in the center of the action than living in that house. And so far, it has all paid off. We've loved it. The idea of, first of all, we get to live in this really cool house, designed by Julia Morgan. So I don't know if you know who that is, but she's basically the female Frank Lloyd Wright, the first woman certified architect in the state of California. She designed Hearst Castle. She designed Mills College, all kinds of houses and buildings all over Northern California. And so it's an architectural treasure that we have. And so we get the opportunity to live in it. It's really cool. So we've loved it so far. It's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We heard that you're a bit of a sneakerhead, so what's your favorite type of sneakers that you like to wear?
That's a long, how much time do you have?
You have a
We
favorite?
have plenty of time.
I have-
Go as in-depth as you want.
So I got a couple of favorites right now. I'm big on comfort. I like them to be comfortable.
Yeah.
More over substance than style, perhaps. And if you ask my wife, much more substance than style. I just got a new pair of Vans that are very, very red. I'm enjoying them quite a bit. I got more, a little bit more formal shoes on today than those because I had a bit of a formal-ish meeting this morning. I got a pair of Jordans right now. My favorite pair I ever had. I said this on a video a little while back, so I don't want to repeat myself, but I had the coolest pair of Magic Johnson Converse high tops back in the 80s. Gold and purple. Awesome.
Do you still have those?
I know, I can't find them anymore. But I don't want purple and gold anymore. I need them to be red and gray. Or red and black. So I need the Jordan colors in the Magic shoes.
Okay, before we ask the next question, because it kind of ties in, Servano and I wanted to give you a little bit of like background information, so you have a little bit of context,
I
more
appreciate
about
that.
like
Any
where
hints-
we're from
Any
and
hints
stuff.
that I get going into the trivia
So Servano's
thank
gonna
you.
start
so
with his
we're-
explanation.
And I might ask you all some questions too, so go ahead.
Yeah, of course. We're just going to go into depth about our own background and our own stories.
Okay.
So I'm Servando Melendrez. I'm from Lassen County in a small town called Westwood, California. I'd say it has about 1,000 people or so, and my class size, this always shocks people whenever I tell them, but my class size actually only had 15 students.
Wow.
So that's pretty insane. Everyone I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, my class had 400 students or like 1,000 students.
So how much choice did you have between different classes that you were taking? I did.
We had
the 15 of you spread out across 5 different math
we
classes. How did that work?
we essentially all had classes together, like your grade, that's your class for like every single class. I feel like maybe the only variation in classes that we had were like electives. It was a choice between photography and film or ag mechanics, and that's about it.
That's all.
Did you vote 1 year on like what classes to take the next year and majority ruled?
No,
Okay.
it was mostly just like just courses the school already picked, and then when we register for classes, yeah, we have to register even though it's like one class that we're gonna take anyway. We just picked between either photography or ag mechanics.
Which did you take?
Photography.
Nice. Good choice.
Yeah, I took photography all 4 years of high school. It was a lot of fun.
Did you learn anything new at the end of the year? Or no?
It was
Same thing?
most of the same thing, but, you know.
You get better.
It was,
That's perfect.
yeah, exactly. I love photography. So going into graduating high school, from there I decided to go to Chico State, and there's a reason for that. I had 3 older siblings who all went to Chico State too, and so I felt it was only natural for me to go there. And believe it or not, I'm the only student in my class that actually went to a 4-year university in California. There's only one other student, but they went to a university in Oregon, and then the rest of my class, most of them just went to community college.
Still a good
And-
choice.
Yeah, still a good choice. No beef against community colleges. But one statistic that actually surprised me about that when I started working as a North Student Ambassador this year, we were doing asset mapping and looking at data. And data about Lassen County really shocked me. There was only 4 students in 2022 that actually went to a university in California, in Lassen County.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the whole county. And there was only 2 Hispanic students out of those 4, and then I was one of them. So that's pretty insane. I mean, like, I get it if it's just my school where I'm the only one going to a 4-year university, but the whole county, like, Lassen County, look how big that county is. And only 4 students decided to go to a 4-year university. So that really shocked me. And I feel like part of my mission here working as a North State Ambassador is to try to promote students to look into college and go to a college like I did. I feel like I had a lot of resources personally due to my siblings, and I thank them a lot for that, but I want other students from rural towns to have the same resources I did and be able to go to college as well.
What could we do to help?
I would say, me personally, I felt it was really important to feel noticed. Like, we're a small town. It kind of feels like we're really invisible in like the grand scheme of things. So if universities could go out of their way to go to small towns like mine, for example, that would go a long way and show the students that the universities really care for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I'd say that'd be the biggest
If
thing.
I wanted to go visit your high school, could you send me back?
I could set that up easily. I feel like they would all love to have you there. That'd be awesome.
They might not, but
That would definitely, if that were to happen, that'd definitely be the talk of the town. I'll tell you. Okay, perfect.
Good, good, good.
That's about it for me.
What's your major? Sorry.
You're good.
Computer animation and game design. I feel like that's pretty like not stereotypical for like a rural student. I'm out here breaking norms, but it's something I've always loved technology, and it's a major that I really like.
So do you,
Servando, talk a little bit about the project you're working on, because I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited
Oh
about it.
yeah, so recently I'm working for a project under Lead California where we're trying to promote youth voter engagement. And for my project specifically, I was going to actually make a video game for the youth to play and essentially like teach like students how to vote.
yeah, that'd be
So,
awesome. And
It's definitely in the very early stages right now, but it's something I'm really excited about. We only have about 2 months to work on it, so I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Do you think, so you took photography for 4 years, artistic class. Do you
Yeah.
think that led at all towards your choosing your major?
I'd say somewhat. I mean, it definitely helped a lot because in my major specifically, we had to learn programs like Photoshop. So going in with some experience with that, like photography, you use a lot of Photoshop. So I feel like that was pretty helpful going in. And then just the artistic like part of it, like especially for like video games, like you have to think about scenes and how the the game presents to the player, kind of like a movie, or like a film, or like a photography class. You have to think about everything. So I feel like that definitely helped a lot when picking out my major.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess that's enough about me. I'll pass the torch over to Brenna.
So I'm Brenna, and I'm from Red Bluff, which is only like 40 minutes north of here. So it's not super far. But what I was mainly going to focus on in my story is when I was choosing where to go to college, I was a little hesitant to tell people that I had chosen Chico State because a lot of the times, like the students, it's not the adults, it's the students, have a really like bad taste in their mouth about Chico State because they're telling you like, go as far from home as you can, get the heck out of here, don't stay near home, like you automatically get into Chico anyways because you're like 40 minutes away, like it's just like it's a backup school, like you're gonna apply there as a safety option and that's it. And so that isn't why I applied to Chico in my brain because I knew it was actually an option, and like my mom was very much like, go wherever you want, like it's not like you don't have to go where you don't want to. Chico's a great choice. But a lot of like my friends were like, you're gonna go to Chico, like why? So I was like not necessarily proud to tell people because they always had some snippy comment. So it was just interesting once I came here, I got this job and I started like working more with like the high school and like researching this, like that's a problem that a lot of people face regardless of where they go. But then like my best friend was like, Brenna, you need to tell the school what you're doing. Like you need to get out there more because she was like, I didn't know anything about Chico either because it's not super well like promoted, at least with the students, because we're all like, it's right there. We go to Chico on the weekends, you know, like why would we go to school there? So she was like, you should go like to the high school or something and tell them like, cause she would come visit me and like I'd give her a tour or I'd FaceTime her and tell her all about my work, and she's like, that is so cool. And like I see that Chico now is like a real school and it has so many opportunities and like so many fun things that you can do and get involved in. Like you have to change the narrative in Red Bluff or it's not gonna change at all. So that was kind of why like I wanted to tell you that so that we could figure out a way to change the narrative and have people be like, oh, Chico State is actually like a really good 4-year university that like you should go to and not just like put on the back burner.
No,
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
And my kids grew up in a small college town, and nobody there wanted to stay home either, and it's mean to your parents. Right? Stay home. This was a good distance. Your parents can be close, or people that care about you can get to you. But what I'm hearing and what I hope you're experiencing is just a wonderful experience where you get to do great things in a different environment than you grew up in, even though it's close. And you've got people around you that care for you and want you to be successful. And so I'm glad to hear it. Now, how do we get that story out?
Exactly.
How do we tell people about that and get them to understand and really embody what does it mean to be a Chico State student and the greatness that it can be? So I'd love to talk to you some more and find out what we need to do.
A lot of the teachers at my high school went to Chico State, and so in my English class senior year, it was solely focused on like college essays, letters of reference, like she was like, we're just doing college. Like if you're scared, if you need anything, like I'm gonna help you. And I remember I went into her and I was like, it's Chico or Nevada, and I don't know. And she was like, Brenna, Chico's a great school. She was like, I don't know why you're so against it. And I said, because everyone else is so against it. Everyone that I like try to talk to about it is like, you're gonna live at home. And I'm like, actually, I'm not gonna live at home. Like I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna have the experience. I'm just gonna stay nearby because like it's like security thing. Like I still like want to be around like my family and like near people. So then I was like, because everyone else is against it. That's why I'm against it. I knew I could go there and I like did want to go there, but like everyone was trying to tell me like, no, don't. And so then she was like, well, it's your choice. And she was like, Chico's a great school. I've been there. My kids have gone there. Like, I think you'd love it there. And I was like, okay, I don't know why I'm listening to everyone else. And so I chose it, and I'm really happy here.
Good for you.
So
Good for you.
I just want them to know that.
They will. And so I'm busy this weekend because I'm going to tennis golf tournament. But after that,
Where is this golf tournament?
It'll be down in Davis.
Okay.
So let's go up and change the narrative.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, she's in the audience, but she works right there. She works at the high school, so we have an in.
You can come to my class anytime.
We have
All right.
an extra.
I got a class of seniors. Come chat them up.
What do you teach?
I teach math.
All right.
Yeah,
Good.
algebra 1, algebra 2.
Fantastic.
So
They had 2 bad classes.
Okay, now that was a little like serious, so we're gonna get a little funny for a second. An Instagram reel that Chico State posted pointed out that you're our 13th president.
That's correct.
And
That's what I understand, yes. I'm not going around and counting everybody.
And it was Taylor Swift theme. So the
Okay.
people want to know, and by people I mean me.
Okay.
Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
I am a Taylor.
Oh dear.
Do you have a favorite song?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me.
Well, you have to tell us.
I was driving home from the airport last night, really late, listening to Taylor Swift. Which one am I going to? Our song. That's what it was.
She asked me the same thing, and I'm like, the one about the screen door
Yeah.
slamming.
She was-
I forgot the name.
That pickup truck that you never let me drive.
Yeah, exactly, that one.
When we were
That's mine too.
practicing, she was beating you, and she said the same thing.
That's
Crazy.
exactly.
Why don't you come up here and
Yeah,
be
I
me?
know.
I want to see that. That's going to be even more fun.
They've never interviewed me. They've interviewed Amy.
Okay.
Yeah, so our song.
Love it. Got original?
All right, going a little more serious than Taylor Swift. This is one of our final questions before we jump into the trivia section. Are you excited for that?
Just as a warning.
Excited,
warning.
excited, but happy the right way.
There is recent news of rising tuition for students. We were just wondering if you could talk a little bit about what that looks like and where our money's going to be going.
Sure. So the trustees at the last trustees meeting voted to raise tuition 6% a year for the next 5 years. And we know that's going to have an impact on our students. There's a handful of things that are good to be aware of. Across the system, that actually won't impact 60% of our students, because one of the things the trustees did was vote in a tuition policy right before voting in the increase. And as part of that policy, it codified something that we've done as practice anyways, which is take a third of tuition aside to use for financial aid. So that helps reduce the impact on some of our students. That being said, there's 40% of students that it will impact, and every dollar matters, and we know that. Our jobs have been and will continue to be to use the resources we have as well and as judiciously as we possibly can to be able to provide you and all of you the best education and the best environment we possibly can. We've been doing it for a number of years and not really had sufficient funding to do it. As an example, last year here at Chico State, we used about $9 million of our reserves, which you think about, that's our bank account. And so that means we spent $9 million more than we got. We can do that for a while, but eventually the bank account runs out. And so for us to continue operating and continue providing the services and the education that we have, we've got to somehow either spend less or get more revenue in. We really only have 2 sources of revenue, 2 major ones. One is tuition, the other is state allocations. We will continue to advocate for more state allocations. The trustees saw this as an opportunity to bring in some more funds. So what are we going to use it for? We're going to use it to continue providing the education we've had, to institutionalize some of the things that we've been doing using one-time money, but that's not sustainable because eventually you run out of that money. This is an ongoing source of funds so we can continue providing the student support services, the tutoring, the counselors, the different things that we've been able to do. And as I said, we're taking some of that to help with our financial aid. And so as we look at rising costs over the next handful of years, this is something that the trustees felt that they needed to do. But we don't take it lightly. We know this is an impact on you all. And our pledge is to continue doing as good a job as we possibly can and making sure we're using that money in ways that are going to support you. Okay.
And then I kind of came up with an improvised question. So here we go. What does your day-to-day life as president of Chico State look like? What do you do on a typical day?
There is no typical day. So it's awesome. I highly recommend it. Being president's a fun job, and it's even more fun in a place like this where it's just awesome. So what I do today.
Had a formal-ish meeting.
I met with our state assembly member, and I went and watched him speak to one of our classes, and then I talked to him. After that, I met with a student who is a member of our one of our racing clubs.
The city or
Baja. And a great meeting talking I'm part of, is this a podcast, or I don't know what we call this? I'm part of
Instagram Live.
Instagram Live,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I was at our Senate Executive Committee meeting this morning. So on any given day, there can be lots of meetings. But there's also lots of opportunity to talk with either our students, our faculty or staff, community members, or alumni, or supporters, and talking about the great things that we do and how might we do them better. Yesterday, I was in San Marcos at a, and that's why I was traveling late last night when I was driving home listening to Taylor Swift.
I would do the same.
This is a social mobility symposium talking about how we in particular, but the majority of our CSUs, if not all of them, are very highly ranked in social mobility indexes in what we do, what our students are able to accomplish after they spend some time with us. And that's a large part of what we want to do. So we're trying to talk about how to do that better. So there's travel, there's talking, there's working. It's fun, but it's different every day.
Yeah. And then, like, don't stress at all if, like, you don't know about this. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna ask you.
It's not that is not a relaxing. Just so you know.
So we're relatively new, but did you know about the North State ambassadors before we reached out to you? It's okay if you didn't.
I'm gonna say probably not, although I know of things. Actually, no, I take it back because I took a tour of the library, and I was in an event over there, and they pointed at your space. So
There
I
you
knew
go.
that the space was here, and I said, "Well, what is that?" And they told me.
They told you about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometime last semester.
So before we start the trivia, are there any questions you have for us? Anything you want to know? Anything jump out at you before we?
What would you, so if I was traveling either through, so suppose I'm traveling through the North State. Suppose I'm in Red Bluff, or I can't remember what kind of
Westwood.
Westwood. And so I'm visiting a math class at Red Bluff. What should I tell students, prospective students, about what their experience would be like here and why they might choose Chico?
I thought you were gonna ask like where should you stop to eat? I got that answer.
I'll ask you that next.
I think I would just tell them like we're
You tell them right now on Instagram Live, right?
Hey everyone. Just more like it's a real school, because I feel like in a way, because you're told like it's a backup school, like you're thinking like they don't really have much to offer, or like it's like easy and it's easier than like a bigger, more well-known university that like UCSB, everyone is automatically like, oh, that's a really hard school, like you're gonna be like swamped with like work and everything. I feel like they think Chico is like not a fake school, but like kind of just like, you know, it's not that big of a deal because it's right close to home, like, you know. So if just telling them like, no, we're a real school, we have all these really like well-designed, like super good programs, like we're ranked here, like you're gonna have good opportunities, there's gonna be people just like you you have a whole space in the library, like, you know, like things like that, to be like, oh, okay, it's, because like other people from like Southern California come here and they know like, oh, that's a real school, I'm gonna apply, like I want to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Changing the narrative to like that, like telling them like it's a good option, cost effective, you know, like you're close to home still, things like that, and then just to like help make it click, you know, like oh, Chico is there.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd say it's definitely a good transition school, at least for me, of going from a really rural town to like somewhere maybe a little bigger. I feel like Chico's at a sweet spot where it's like city to us, but it's not necessarily like a huge city. And it's fairly close to home too. It's only an hour and a half away. So if you want to stay close to home but also be far away enough where like you feel independent, because I definitely feel that, I'd say definitely come to Chico, and there's a lot of resources here to help you.
That's a really good point. Because like it's easier. I'm gonna pull my sister out here. She went to UCSD, so it was like you're 12 hours away. You're like you want to come home. That's like a plane flight or like an all-day travel day. But for like me, it's easier because I know if I had gone from like Little Red Bluff straight into that, I probably would have been like, holy crap, like I don't know what's going on anymore. And so I think this is good to like, I came here, I can still go home if I want to, but I can also be like, no, like I'm staying here for like the weekend or something, and like be like my own person and like figure out how to be an adult. So then if I want to go to like grad school further away, this was like a pivotal step of like, okay, I have my groundings, I know what I want to do, and then I can like go from there. So when you said it's a good like transition step, I was like, yeah, that's a really good point.
Right before you go on, where should I eat?
Um,
I'm hungry, actually.
It's actually on the map. You should eat at Bud's Jolly Cone. Bud's Jolly Cone is.
Where is it?
It's on the map. We put it
I
up
see
there.
it, right there.
Yeah, it's right when you drive through down the main road before you get to Main Street in Red Bluff. It's like a little
99.
like
99.
no, it's technically an antelope. But it's like. It's like a frosty.
All right,
There's
all right.
chicken strips, burgers, taco. Like they have some
all the food
milkshakes.
groups, yeah.
You have to get a milkshake.
Okay.
I tend to get chicken strips and then French fries, and I dip the French fries in the milkshake. They also, if you don't want a milkshake though, have really good ice. They have like the good ice.
The good ice.
So yeah. So if you want that instead,
Super frozen.
it's like the pebble ice. Like it's
Okay,
like
yeah,
snow cone
yeah,
ice.
yeah.
That's my favorite place.
So when I'm driving through Westwood, where should I eat?
So it's also on the map there too.
Anyone
Anyone from Westwood is going to tell you to go to this place.
They
It's
had
called-
nothing to do with creating the
Buffalo
maps
chips.
on it. They know the importance
Everybody
now.
knows these.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We didn't put the
It's called
landmarks on
Buffalo
there.
Chips Pizza.
Buffalo chips.
I see it.
Name aside, it's actually extremely good. So if you ever stop by Westwood, you have to try it. You
Okay.
can thank me later, Ryan. Watching this. Definitely try Buffalo Chips. It's the best pizza you're gonna have.
Sounds good.
Period.
Yep.
Period.
All right.
Can I ask a slick question? Is that allowed?
Go for
I
it.
don't know if it's allowed.
Go for it.
But Steve, what would you want our North State students to know? If students are thinking about coming to Chico State and they're in the North State, what message do you have for them?
Well, it's some of the things that we just heard, right? That I appreciate the prompt. We've been around since 1887. It's right there on your shirt. This is the second oldest CSU in the state. This is a wonderful university. Right? We have any number of programs that if you're interested to learn about something, we can teach it to you. But we come to work every single day, to try to figure out how to provide you with the transformative education that you want, and that's going to support your success. And so it's a special environment where we're reasonably big. We got over 13,000 students in a town of over 100,000 people. So compared to the rest of the North State, we're relatively large. But it's organizations like this where you're going to be able to find your small school inside of a big school. You're going to be able to share experiences with others that have had similar experiences and make you feel welcome and understand that you are welcome here, and each and every person is. And so that's the story I would want to get out there, that if individuals are interested in going to college, I think they're going to get an experience here, even though they might feel like it's just home. They're going to get an experience here that they're not going to get anywhere else in the state of California, and it's a really good experience. So I hope that those students consider us, and happy to tell anybody if they want to hear it again.
All right, so we're gonna be moving
ready?
on to the
I gotta
trivia.
go. I gotta go.
So just ahead of time, you're not allowed to
You
look
can't look
behind
behind you. Look one more time before we start.
You can study this.
Study really quickly.
That you can remember.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm not doing
I mean, I can't tell them no.
My bud's Jolly Cone.
It's like one more math study and then turn your
Okay, go.
papers over.
So we have
It
to
does-
warn you, our previous Power Hour guests did really good on these questions.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
All right, so do you both have the same questions?
Yes.
Yes.
And the answers?
Yep,
Yes.
and we're gonna hide them from you.
We,
Okay, yeah, but you can each see each other's
But
questions.
Servando, I think you were about to talk about the last Power Hour
Yeah,
person's record. I think we should maybe throw that out there and put a little
Maybe.
pressure.
Maybe it was our previous guest, and she did really good.
Which Amy's way smarter than me.
Oh. I take that as a huge compliment.
So we have 12 questions.
12.
12.
True.
So, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. How many rural counties are in the Chico State Service Region, and how many can you name?
13. Is that right?
Close.
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 Right. Glen, Tehama, Siskiyou, Modoc, Lake County?
No.
Nope. Should be. And that would make it 13, because I think we're only 12.
There are only 12.
So
You
I'm
got
gonna
that
count
one.
Lake, so I got that one.
They could
You?
name the doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Lansing.
buildings.
We did give Amy a couple hints.
Shasta.
Give us a
Yep.
couple hints.
Smart. All of our buildings are
All of our
after
buildings
these.
are
That's what I'm running in my head.
Where the ambassadors are from. The counties they're from.
Show me the towns.
Oh.
Yeah.
The old dining hall.
Your own.
Before we
Before it
renamed
changed.
it.
Whitney.
No.
I don't know.
The old dining hall.
I've only been here since
Oh, yeah.
January.
Which name
What
did
old-
we just change on campus?
Sutter.
There we
Yep,
go.
there
Yeah.
it is.
Where was there an old dining hall?
The dining hall used to be Saturday.
It used to be called Sutter.
Did you know that where the Rose Garden is, right? So if you don't know this, then I get credit.
Uh-oh.
Just so you know.
What used to be where the Rose Garden is?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have no idea.
Does
So
anybody
neither of
know?
you
Does
Anybody
anyone know?
I always thought the Rose Garden was just
Well,
over
it used to be the
Guessing it
library.
down.
That building used to be the library. Glen used to be the library.
Why, yes, but
So, say it, Veronica.
Oh, okay. I don't. This is just. I feel like I saw a sign somewhere like a million years ago, and it was so like there was a swimming pool somewhere.
there was a swimming pool, but it wasn't there.
Or like
The-
with-
I don't even know. I
That's
wasn't
percentage.
here.
Actually, I know. That's percentage.
Here's what I hear,
That's where it was.
that it used to be a cafeteria. Cafeteria used to be. I saw that on a thing this week, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So we'll give you a pass on this question.
So I got credit on this
You
one.
you missed Calusa, Trinity, Yuba, and Plumas.
I wasn't done yet.
Oh.
Calusa, Yuba, Trinity, and Plumas.
There we go.
Thank you. I appreciate the help.
There we go.
All right. So, what's the tallest mountain in Siskiyou County?
Don't let it fool you.
It's a bit of a trick question.
There is no mountain in Siskiyou County.
Oh,
Is that
yes.
true?
Good guess. It's actually Mount Shasta, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, Mount
Oh.
Shasta's in Siskiyou,
I
in
didn't know
Shasta
that.
County.
Huh.
I didn't know that until recently too. And it's roughly at 14,000 feet. Another question
Have you ever
about
skied on it?
no,
I have.
I've been there
I have
before.
too. Yeah, I have too.
Is Mount Shasta an active or dormant volcano? It's a 50-50 chance.
Active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It erupts once per every like 800 years.
Perfect.
So like it's basically.
When was the last time?
We have no idea.
I'm still challenging the definition of active on this question.
Okay.
That's not how often I exercise, so all right.
Okay, next question. In Tehama County, in Red Bluff, actually, they have like
Buffalo chip pizza.
No, that's they have a lot of events, but they have one major event that Red Bluff is like known for. People travel from all around for it. What is the event?
Is it the, I don't know.
Oh, we got it. It's okay. We did give
Oh, I
Amy
got
some
it, I
hints.
got
Yeah.
I got this one.
Yeah. You did
Helicopters,
good.
what are we talking about? So it's not like some Johnny Appleseed thing, which I believe is this weekend, but I'm not positive.
That's
Um,
Manton.
It's not the Calaveras County Frog Jumping Contest, which I've been to. How many
That
people have been
sounds
to
fun.
that?
Been there.
It's awesome. And the Calaveras County Fair Demolition Derby, super fun. It is a rodeo.
Yeah, Red Bluff Roundup. Hey.
Red Bluff Roundup.
There we go. I've actually never been to the Red Bluff Roundup. I've lived there for 18 years.
Okay.
But you know, it's the biggest event. So Shasta County, which we're talking about Reading, is home to Turtle Bay, and Turtle Bay has a landmark bridge. What's the bridge called?
It's something to do with clock tower. No, sundial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not doing that bad.
I know.
This is definitely doing better than I thought you would.
Me too, and thank you.
Alright, so So, which national park sits in the county of Lassen? Here's a big hint.
Is it Lassen?
Well,
Lassen something park.
Lassen Volcanic National Park.
Yes.
Yay.
Got it. Nice. All right. So, what's the biggest lake in Plumas County? It's really close to Chico.
Is it Almador?
Yep.
Yay.
Yep.
She's from Plymouth.
Okay.
What lake in Shasta County did JFK visit when he was the president?
Well, it seems like it should be Shasta Lake, but there's also a Lake Chastina, I think.
It's actually neither
That's in
of those.
Siskiyou.
What's that?
That's in Siskiyou.
That's in Siskiyou.
Oh, did you want to phone a friend? Someone in
Yes.
the
Phone a
audience?
friend. Phone a friend, it's all good. That would be Whiskey Town.
Woo!
You can still hear it. If you go up there and push
Really?
the button, you can still hear the whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
He dedicated
So you
the
got
dam.
credit.
Yeah.
You
In
phoned a friend.
1964.
He dedicated the dam in 1964.
Huh.
Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yep.
Mhm.
What county is home to the smallest mountain range in the world, and what's it called?
Well, it depends what you call it. And so some would call it the Sutter Buttes. Others call it Middle Mountain. And I think some people would call it, I'm not gonna get it right. What's our new residence hall called? Estem Giovanni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what they're called.
well.
So you got it right. It's Sutter Buttes.
Yay.
I feel like he was excited.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that was
pretty
good.
good.
Yeah, I was
not expecting that.
I'm pretty sure that's what Estem Giovanni stands for. Means. I'm getting confirmation from my friend. Yeah.
Nice. Back there. Okay, what county are the Alps located in?
I've been to the Alps, and they're in Bavaria. What county are the California Alps in?
Yeah. Sure. I didn't type that question, so I just read it how it is.
Modoc.
Trinity.
Trinity Alps.
Was that you, right?
Was I close?
No.
Alright.
They're kind of on opposite sides.
I've actually heard of the Trinity Alps. So, yeah.
What nationally renowned racetrack is located in Glenn County?
Is it Silver? This is not the answer. Silver Dollar Raceway's here, is that right? Yeah, here in Chico.
Yeah.
And I think they have a pretty big race here. So I'm stalling. Tell me the county again.
County is Glenn County.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
too close. I don't know.
It's Thunder Hills.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Which I didn't know that either.
Is it
but
dirt track racing?
I have no
No,
idea.
it's
Is it?
paved.
Paved?
Yeah, and so our teams actually go out there and compete. So like Baja and SAE,
Yeah.
or SAE, Baja and Formula, they'll go out there.
Okay.
But Silver Dollar's for sprint cars.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's a dirt road.
Yeah. So when we have a lot more time, I'll tell you about the first time I went to a dirt track.
They're
Watch
they're
the race.
racing this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You can hear it from the house.
Yeah, you can hear it.
This is final question.
Final
Made
question.
it to the end. This is actually going to be probably pretty difficult, so I apologize to end on a
Okay. That's
challenger.
okay.
But
It gives me some reason to want to come back.
what is the name of the only incorporated town in Modoc County?
Modoc City.
Look, everyone is stumped. Everyone is stumped. Do you know?
Matt knows it.
I think it's Alturas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll throw it.
So
That was hard.
that was all we have.
How many did I get?
You got a lot.
Got a lot.
You got a lot. I wasn't counting.
I wasn't really keeping track.
Uh-oh.
You got it all
I think it was
recorded.
passed away.
Yeah, but-
I passed?
Yeah.
I got my driver's license.
So if there's no questions from the audience, unless oh, she has.
Which college were you in at UCSD?
I was at Rebel.
First college, best college. Okay.
I
Other.
was in Argo Hall, but it was a long time ago. I don't know if they still call it.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
square,
Argo.
the square building. I was in
Yeah.
there.
I was in Challenger in the fleets.
So is there any other questions from the crowd? Anyone wanna? Oh, yeah.
I got a personal question. What's your favorite album?
Taylor Swift. This is a.
So I did an online quiz to find out what my best era is.
So did I.
Do you want to write your answer down and I'll let mine go? Okay.
I'm proud of it.
We'll say it out. 1, 2, 3.
Lover.
Debut.
That actually makes. Is that your favorite though?
Sure.
What's your favorite album?
I don't know. I don't like to choose favorites. How about that?
Oh, okay. Solid.
Fair enough.
That's fair. Are there any other questions from the crowd? Anyone wanna pop?
Now's
Okay.
your time to ask.
Do you have any
Right.
questions for us or for them or anything?
No, yeah, I do. How often do you all, as a group, get together?
The ambassadors meet at least once a week, usually here and usually around Thursday or Friday, and we just talk about everything. We're actually, me, Bethany, and Servando are going to a conference in Tennessee in November to talk on a panel about our research and our work and what we've found in our communities. And we basically we're seeing how being a rural student impacts you when you go off to college and looking at the statistics. So in Red Bluff, 12.5% of people who graduate high school actually go on to a university.
5 or 12.5?
12.5,
Yeah.
which is actually high, one of the highest percentages of all of the northern counties.
Wow.
So just taking that, and we have a survey that we've given out to students who have graduated or that are still in high school to give us give us their experience that Servando made. So we sent them that, and then we're gonna give a little presentation, share what we learned, and we're interviewing people who have also graduated and gone on from education just to see how they think it impacted them. And then we're trying to go to another conference in February.
Right.
That one would be in Texas. This one is in Tennessee.
Right, so I have 2 follow-up questions.
Go for it.
I was asked what would I want to share with students or prospective students around North State. What would you want staff and faculty here at Chico State to know about what it's like coming from a rural area of North State to be a student here?
I guess I could go first. So I'd say just being a rural student, it's a little intimidating going somewhere a lot bigger. So I would say for the teachers and staff, they should try to, I guess, get to know the students a little more personally, because back home, we know the teachers super personally, and just to build a connection with the staff, that'd be great.
That would be good. It's also maybe just knowing more about the North State in general, or at least the counties, because a lot of times I'll meet someone and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Do you know where Red Bluff is?" Because usually I just start saying, "Oh, I'm just from here," because I'm only 40 minutes north. So I'm saying, "Oh, I'm from near Chico," and then they try and meeting people is really hard as a rural student, because you try to be like, "Oh, I'm from Red Bluff," and they're like, "Huh?" And then I'm like, 40 minutes north of here, and and then I've had someone look at me dead in the face and be like, "There's things north of here." They're smaller than Chico, and I'm like, "Yes, actually, there's a lot smaller." And they're just so maybe just understanding that a little better, or maybe if I say "Oh, Sangamon County," they'd be like, "Oh, okay." That would take a little bit of the stress of being "Yeah, I'm from Red Bluff," and then being "Huh?" Because that happens all the time, and then I'm like, "You know what? I'm from Chico," and that's it. That's a tough out.
I'd love for the other ambassadors to weigh in on this question too, because I think you all have some really good insights into this question too. No pressure, but you have something to say.
Our resources. We're very limited on our resources. Classes wise, we don't come in knowing everything. We're a little bit behind oftentimes. So it's not that we don't care. It's if we did have the ability to, we would.
Yeah.
So it's kind of get rid of that stigmatism of if you don't know, you don't care type thing.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of those. That's great.
Anyone else? Veronica? Yeah?
I had an idea. Being in a rural area, maybe really focus on the programs that they have. They have business classes up at Susanville High.
Yes.
I'm from Westwood, so hi.
Really? Hey.
And
Unexpected.
Lassen College, Garrett Taylor is in charge of the business program. They have the Phi Beta Lambda Club. They have the high school club version of that. They actually do an entrepreneurship gathering. I don't know if they still do it, but back in the day when I was there, we did, and we helped to host that and everything else. And the entrepreneurship thing was people who became millionaires under the age of 18.
Wow.
And so a lot of that was from local areas. So maybe focus on they have the gun program, the ag and rodeo is real big up there too. You have Feather River College, that's a forestry college. They really focus on that. So maybe you know, dial into whatever area and what they have, you know, a specialty class, you know, or something to that effect, and then send an ambassador and say, hey, you know, this is what we got at Chico State, this would fit into your program here, or, you know, hey, we come to talk today. Does that make any sense? At Lassen College, because of weather and people can't travel very well, we put in a interactive television system where we could actually have, you know, different businesses come in and talk, but we do it all on the monitor. So lots of different ways to reach them if you can dial into what they have to offer. The gun program, I don't know where that would go, you know what I mean? Because people come from all over the United States to go to that program. But sports, international students, so there's lots of different ways to entice through that. So that would be my major suggestion, is dial in on the programs, whatever county that they have, you know, they're all different, so. But it might be a way to help, especially business and the business clubs.
Yeah.
And
I was
that
gonna say, you
might,
focused on the assets of the community.
Right.
yes.
So looking at what the great things are from the communities and then building on that. Because I think all of the ambassadors have realized what really rich, vibrant places that they're from and how much they have to offer and just how much they, you know, are really connected. And they're connected here. So I think that's what they've all realized in their asset mapping is the vast assets.
And that being a rural student contributes so much to diversity, right? And it in and of itself is an asset. Like it's a really beautiful thing, and if we can celebrate that on campus and in our region, I think it would be really special. They're doing it more than what we try to do with ambassadors.
Community wealth, so rural cultural community wealth is kind of the framework that we're using.
I also think it's important to we grow up so much being at least maybe in Red Bluff, it's just Red Bluff sucks. We don't want to be there anymore. You get to a certain point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to tell people this is where I'm from. I just want to get out. And so you internalize that, and then you bring it to school. So then when you meet people, when you talk about home, you don't necessarily talk about it in the most positive way, or they get this preconceived notion of oh, your town is nothing but orchards or farm animals, or you're pure country. And I'm I'm really not pure country. It's part of me, yes, and it impacts who I am as a human. But if we were to find a way to show that's not what it is. Red Bluff, showing all that it has. Because now that I have this job, I look back on it and I'm wow, I had so many opportunities. I knew so many people. They would do anything at the drop of a hat for me. It's so important to come from such a small town and be able to have those people. But then you grow up there and you get this idea of no, it sucks. If you grew up somewhere else, it'd be better. But then my sister would bring home friends from college. They've never seen the stars. They walk into our backyard and they're holy cow, you can see the stars here? And I'm you couldn't where you're from? Or we took them to a lake and they're I've never been here, and it's crazy to think we have that experience and they don't, and it's we take it for granted. And then I got this job and I'm whoa, there's so much there that I never really realized, because I was just always stupid Red Bluff. So if there's a way to there's a way to show that more, there's actually a lot north of here.
And I'm very glad that you reflected back and see that there are very positive things in where you grew up. Truth is, there's something good about everywhere. No matter where it is, there's something good about it. And sometimes it's a matter of poking around and figuring out what it is. But people love living where they live because it's a good place. And it's interesting listening because it is important to. We bring students from all over the state, we bring students from all over the world, they've had different experiences, but they come with assets. And how do we tap into those assets and help you realize what they are and those strengths that you bring to your experiences here and how you can share them with others. It's going to be different for everybody, but you all have similar experiences, so I'm glad you're able to share them with each other. That's great.
One more thing I was gonna say is that you're definitely in competition with UNR. Up in that area, Lassen County, Plumas, all of them, they can be grandfathered in because they're so much closer to UNR. So that's maybe another factor to look at, that you are definitely in competition with them for California students in that those rural areas. Because they're up there all the time, you know what I mean, at different things at the college and all that.
I agree from being from Westwood. Usually for a four-year university, it's between, I'd say Chico and UNR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually like where I'm from, Grable. Yeah, we have to drive into Reno to even grocery shop.
Yeah.
And so like my classmates, it is if they have the resources to even consider going to a 4-year, it's Chico or UNR. And so like I would totally agree with that.
So just throwing that out there, that just kind of look at that competition.
Yeah.
Another thing, I don't know if we can really like fix this because it's kind of like a personal thing, but a lot of the times rural students, because they are so close to home, have a little bit of a guilt, especially because like you're so close that you could just go home on the weekends, and then your family is like texting you like, are you coming home, or like we miss you, blah blah, and you're like, if I went to any other school, you would not be seeing me. And like, yes, I do want to come home, and that's why I went here, but also like I have the option to like not, or just having a guilt of like, I could be home, I could be spending more time with my family, but also any other college you wouldn't. So just like knowing that some of us carry that guilt is like, I don't know, there's no way to do that, but I feel like it's good to point out.
There's pluses and minuses, so, right? That you're close, and that means you may get drawn back, but you also have the option to. And what I'm really hearing is the family likes to be around you. So embrace that and understand it. That's a good thing.
I was just gonna say, like, piggyback off of that. I think last year I had that stigma of like nothing but going home because you're so close, and I think especially this year, like living in my own apartment, it's very much I've built my own world in Chico, my own family, like people I hang out with. So it's yes, I still have that go home. I haven't been home this semester at all, and I'm like I'm fine. And I'm just like, yes, I'm close, but I feel like I have my own life here, and I can always go back, go home, and do that. But I feel like I have my own like little safety life here, so it's been nice.
I just wanted to put that out. Because sometimes we get like internalized with that. It's good to like bring up and make sure like people know that's another issue.
Are you going home this weekend?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going home after this. Last year I went to San Diego State, and one of the reasons why I knew that I had to transfer back to Chico was because for one thing, like missed knowing faces that I passed around campus, knowing my professors, but also the flexibility to go home if I needed to. And yeah, like just for the weekend, gonna go back and like reset. From my apartment, I can't see the stars, which I was a little bit disappointed in. So I'm gonna go home and look at the stars today. So I'm excited.
Good.
Any other questions? Anyone wanna? So we're good. That's all we have.
Thank
so,
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for showing up too. We appreciate it so much, and it was great.
Yeah. Please eat whatever's left, mingle,
Yes.
talk,
We have
ask
so
us
many
questions.